The area previously known as Fire Station Number 1 in downtown Lloydminster has a new look. Station Auto Lube officially had its grand opening today. Many gathered for refreshments as well as a ribbon cutting to commemorate a new staple to downtown Lloydminster.
We want to make this succeed. We want to help the people of downtown Lloydminster, people who work in the area. We want to look after them, suit all their needs, we want to prosper.
Both owners of Station Auto are thrilled with the city's support in small businesses throughout the city.
It's really exciting that City of Lloydminster Mayor took time and cut the ribbon for our business, and that means they do care about the small businesses, and the downtown committee members came here today as well, and it's really exciting to see these guys and supporting the small businesses.
The new auto shop is determined to use parts from dealerships rather than aftermarket parts throughout their time in Lloydminster. So we have been in for quite the gloomy, quite the little rainy day in Lloydminster today.
Yes, as I said yesterday, today is going to be quite gloomy. It was supposed to, we had some rainfall last night that was supposed to come in, but I don't suppose that we had any rainfall, which is nice. We've had some this afternoon, but nothing too much to warrant like a massive storm or anything. But for the most part, it's just been quite a gloomy day. We're sitting at 9 degrees here currently in Lloydminster. So it hasn't been that nice of a day, and you know, we're in the single-digit temperatures, but for the most part it wasn't the worst that it was going to be. I thought that it was going to rain a lot more than it did. With that wind coming in at 19 kilometers per hour, the wind chill is making it feel closer to 6 degrees. So at least we're still above zero. That's always a plus when we're seeing those single-digit temperatures. Across the region in Alberta, 9 degrees out in Wainwright and Marwayne, 12 degrees in Vegreville and Cold Lake, 14 in Provost, 10 in Vermilion, and 11 in Edmonton, St. Paul, Bonnyville, and Lac La Biche. And then taking a look on the Saskatchewan side, 9 out in Maidstone, 14 in Isla Cross and in Macklin, 10 in Green Lake, Meadow Lake, and St. Walburg, 11 in North Battleford and out in Pearceland. Overnight tonight in North Battleford, expect some showers around this evening with the clouds breaking as you go further into the evening with a temperature of 1 degrees. So it's going to feel a little bit colder, and there's about a 60% chance of that rainfall. And then tomorrow, mostly cloudy day in North Battleford, but there will be some sun peeking out with a high of 14. So it is still going to feel a little bit cooler, but with that sun, it's still going to be a nice day. In Cold Lake, a low of 3 degrees overnight tonight. Patchy clouds throughout the evening, so for the most part, it should remain fairly clear. And then tomorrow, a high of 15 and about a 65% chance of seeing some morning showers. Otherwise, the day should be a little bit mild with a little bit of cloudiness throughout the day. Here in Lloydminster, we'll drop down to 2 degrees and we'll just remain quite cloudy out. So the gloominess will continue overnight and into tomorrow. We have a high of 16 degrees, so not too bad when it comes to temperature. It'll feel a little bit mild without that sun peeking through, but who knows? Hopefully that sun makes a surprise appearance throughout the day, which would be nice to see. And then over the next 3 days, we'll have a low of 5 for tomorrow, and then on Thursday, a mix of sun and cloud throughout the day, mostly cloudy skies, but we will see that sun, and that wind will come back up with a high of 19 and a low of 4. And then on Friday, we see a little bit more sun with a high of 15 and a low of 3. So while it's going to be a little bit cooler compared to Thursday, we'll still have that nice sunny day. And then taking a look at a few more eclipse photos that we got sent to us. Thank you so much to Lori and Tasha for sending in their gorgeous photos of the eclipse. I love to see it. And if you'd like to see your weather photos on our show, please submit them on our Facebook page, Stingray Weather and Pet Photos. That is a first look at your weather forecast. I'll have your evening temperatures later on in the show.
Thanks, Abby. After the break, we'll look at the latest with Saskatchewan's controversial pronoun policy. The Lakeland Rustlers men's volleyball team hosted their home opener this past Saturday against the Concordia Thunder. Our Thomas Wildman has more on the exciting matchup.
The Rustlers are looking to improve upon last season's trip to the ACAC playoffs. They first have to take on the Thunder after beating them on the road the night before. The first set was a tight battle. The Rustlers gained some big momentum to finish the set with a 25-16 victory. Going into the second set, the Thunder were much more aggressive and kept it a 4-point game, but were unable to catch the Rustlers, who escaped with a 25-21 victory. And in the third set, the Rustlers put the foot on the gas and ran away with an 11-25 victory, and completing the 3-set sweep. Gabriel Briorkis was the player of the game for the Rustlers with 6 kills and 2 service aces.
It's very exciting. Really expanded on the lead we had yesterday. Energy was real good. We didn't play down to their level. I thought our pressure from the baseline was really good this game. Defense was solid. So yeah, good game altogether.
Head coach Taylor Dyer likes the intensity and competitiveness his team has and has high hopes for the season.
Yeah, you know what? We got a ton of weapons. We're super aggressive from the baseline. We can put some teams under a lot of pressure. So I think anything can happen any evening. I think with how competitive our league is, I think we're going to be super competitive with everybody, and we just have to execute every weekend.
The Rustlers will next take on the King's University Eagles. Thomas Wildman, Primetime, local news.
Here's more of our Abby St. John with another look at weather.
Thanks so much, Callan. We saw quite a gloomy day out today with a little bit of rainfall in the afternoon. We're sitting at 9 degrees here, feeling closer to 6 degrees with that wind chill, with that wind coming in at 22 kilometers per hour. So definitely missed the sun today, that's for sure, and it definitely feels more like fall. And then across the region in Alberta, 12 degrees out in Cold Lake, 9 out in Athabasca, 11 in Edmonton, 15 in Rocky Mountain House and Edson, 13 in Whitecourt and Jasper, and Red Deer is sitting at 14. And then taking a look on the Saskatchewan side, 10 out in Meadow Lake, 9 in Prince Albert and in Melfort, 14 in Saskatoon, and 11 out in North Battleford. And then if we take a look more up north in Saskatchewan, 6 degrees in Uranium City and Stony Rapids, 7 out in Wollaston Lake, 13 in South End Reindeer, and 15 in Flin Flon, Buffalo Narrows, and La Loche. And then up north in Alberta, 8 degrees in High Level, 7 in Fort Chipewyan, 12 in Fort Mac, 11 in Slave Lake and Peace River, and then 15 out in Grand Prairie. And then down south in Alberta, 12 out in Medicine Hat, 11 in Coronation, 14 in Calgary. Banff is sitting at 10 degrees and 15 out in Lethbridge. And then on the Saskatchewan side, 15 in Kindersley, 13 in Yorkton and Swift Current, 20 in Regina and Moose Jaw, and Estevan is sitting at 19. Overnight tonight in North Battleford, I expect about a 60% chance of some showers this evening, and then the clouds will start clearing up as the evening goes on, and then sitting at 1 degrees overnight. So it's definitely a cooler evening out in North Battleford. And then overnight tonight in Cold Lake will drop down to 3 degrees, so it should be a relatively nice evening out. A little bit of cloud coverage, but for the most part, it should remain fairly clear. And then overnight across the region, 1 degree out in Meadow Lake and Paradise Hill, 3 in Bonnyville and Isla Cross, and then 2 out in Provost. Meadow Lake, Bonnyville, and Isla Cross is sitting fairly clear out, just a little bit of cloud coverage, and then Provost and Paradise Hill expect some cloudy skies overnight. And then more overnight temperatures, 3 degrees in Myrnam and Pearceland, 1 in Unity, 2 in Wainwright, and 5 out in Calgary. And then Unity, Wainwright, and Calgary sitting very cloudy overnight, and then a little bit of cloud coverage in Pearceland and in Myrnam. Overnight tonight here in Lloydminster, expect those clouds to continue as they are here overnight tonight with a low of 2. So it's going to be a relatively cool evening out tonight. And then over the next 7 days, a high of 16 and a low of 5 for tomorrow. And those cloudy conditions carry over into tomorrow as well. So feel a little bit cool out. And then on Thursday, a mix of sun and cloud with a high of 19 and a low of 4. On Friday, expect a lot more sun than on Thursday with a high of 15 and a low of 3. On Saturday, to start your weekend off, it will be a mostly sunny day with a high of 11 and a low of 1. Things definitely start to cool off even more on Sunday with a high of 9 and a low of -2. Very cloudy day out, and that continues on Monday with a high of 4 and a low of -3. And then unfortunately on Tuesday, we hit below 0 with a high of -1, a low of -5. And unfortunately, there's a 70% chance that we can expect to see some flurries in the morning. And it's going to be a very cloudy and cold day out on Tuesday. So definitely be prepared for that. That's your look at your 7-day forecast. We'll have more news coming up after the break. I'm back at Border Paws Animal Shelter for another edition of Pet Project, and today we are doing a dog. His name is Crew, and he is the most energetic and adorable puppy I've ever met. Tell me about his story and how he came to be here.
So Crew came in as a stray at the end of September from in the city of Lloyd, and he's about 7 months old. As you can see, very friendly. Come here, bud. And very energetic, but very trainable and eager to please. Loves working for food, but also for toys. He's actually more excited about the toy. Can you sit? Where's your sit? Yes, get it. Good boy. So yeah, he would be so good for a family with older kids that would be able to play with him like this, and maybe another friendly dog that he can play with, because he seems pretty social with other dogs, like very excited about the dogs here. He's a really sweet dog. He would be such a great addition to any family. We haven't cat tested him, but I haven't seen anything concerning where he's fixating on cats or anything when he's passing them. But I would love to see him do obedience classes or maybe agility or something, because he's a really fun guy and really likes to play tug, as you can see.
Yes, and he's just a very excitable puppy, which is, you know, it's great. You know, despite being having to come here, he definitely didn't lose that spark that most puppies have, which is awesome. And it's great that he's well adjusted to any kind of home situation.
Yeah, like we think he'd be fine with younger kids too, but obviously he's very playful with his size and everything. He might knock little kids down, so you want to definitely make sure you're having an outlet for his energy so that he's going to be more calm around the kids if you do have little kids. But I mean, he would be suited to pretty much any age, I would say.
And he'd be in no way aggressive in that situation. Just like he's just too playful. Excited, too playful, doesn't know his size, which is awesome. And he's just so cute. So I know that he'd make a great pet for any household.
Yes, he's a sweetheart.
Now you have an adoption event coming up this weekend. Tell me a little bit about what that is and what people should know about it.
So we have an adoption event at Pet Value this Sunday, and it'll be from 12 to 4. We're going to have some adoptable cats on site, and we do have our cat sale going on right now. So it's 50% off any of the black or orange cats, and then 25% off any other cats in the facility as well. So definitely come down and check out the deals that Pet Value has in-house that day, and you can meet our staff and ask about volunteering and foster opportunities and meet some of the adoptable cats. Sit. Where's your toy? Sit. Sit. Can you sit? Yes. But yeah, so it will be fun and a good opportunity for us to bring some animals out and get them noticed and maybe find some cats some homes.
Yes, hopefully. And with that sale on, I think it'll be a bigger incentive to adopt one. Now, on the dog side front, Your backspace is finally
Yes.
completed, which is very exciting, and it didn't take that long either.
Yeah.
So tell me about the process of it and how it's looking.
So we still need the play area to be built, but our kennels are all set up. So we have an L shape of kennels that were set up from our old stuff over at the old location, and Tam and Jay's Contracting did that for us. Oh, good boy. So yeah, we've got outdoor space for the dogs. It's got cement poured, so it's easy for us to sanitize. We've got sod laid out, so we actually have a grass area for them to play in now. So we're really excited about it, just to have that green space at the back, and eventually it will be fully fenced so that volunteers can be playing with our dogs safely out there and doing training.
That's going to
So,
be awesome,
yeah.
especially, next summer and like spring.
Yes, it'll be amazing.
It's going to be great for the dogs themselves because they won't be, locked up. They can run around in a safe environment too. Don't have to risk, getting out.
And they're already, like, even in just the days that we've had some sun here, they've been laying out and enjoying the sun and just kind of sun tanning themselves out there and really enjoying getting out of the shelter a little bit.
Which is perfect and just what they need, honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, same question as every week. Are there any donations that you're in need of?
What we would love to see is some more tough toys, so things that the dogs can't wreck, especially like rubber toys, those like tires, or even like used tires sometimes will work, like smaller bike tires. Gentle, sir. Come here. Can you sit? Yes, good boy. So some of like even the large and extra long Kong extra large Kong toys that we can use for the dogs that they can't destroy. The Kong rubber balls as well. Tugs are great, but they obviously need to be pretty tough or else the dogs will shred them. So we're kind of looking more for the durable like rubber stuff that we can leave outside in the indoor or the outdoor kennels for them to play with and chew on. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure that crew will, honestly, he will make a great addition to any household.
Yes.
So thank you so much for joining me. And, he showed off his personality perfectly,
Yes.
I think. So awesome.
Thanks for coming.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery, downtown Lloydminster.
I'm joined here with Constable Kelsey DeVidge, and we're going to be chatting about some safety tips coming up for the winter here. So obviously, change of season, it's getting cold outside, snow's going to start flying soon, so there's kind of some unique things that people should be aware of going forward. So what are kind of some like crime prevention tips that people can, keep in mind at this time of year, when they're locking up seasonal properties, things like that, what can they do to make your job easier?
Yeah, so again, as those cottages and cabins are getting closed, we have a couple tips here today that we're recommending people try out to ensure property safety, right? And to deter those property crimes. Some things that we are suggesting is obviously locking those doors and windows, double checking that, and ensuring any sheds or boat launches or anything like that is outside is locked up as well. Another thing we always say is, especially during the winter months, is clearing that snow. If you can make it look like someone's in that residence, cabin, cottage, it's a lot better of a deterrent than looking like no one's there, right? Other things we also recommend is we always see a lot of ATVs or off-highway vehicles being stolen. So another thing we can ensure that that doesn't happen is physically blocking that ATV in, even taking the gas out of it or disconnecting a battery, or physically removing it off kind of a driveway where it's hidden where you may not be able to see it. Another thing we recommend is if you do have those things that are stored outside on your property, is making sure you know those VIN numbers, right? Those identification numbers that if we were to be called to your property and it would be taken, we'd be able to verify that it is somewhere or to ensure that that object is yours, right? Yeah.
Perfect. So it sounds like a lot of this is kind of just, common sense, making sure that things are put away and, keeping things out of sight and out of mind, because obviously a lot of these crimes seem to be, crimes of opportunity, which is kind of a good lead into my next question, which I was going to ask you. What kind of crimes go up or down during the season? Obviously it's cold outside, so I would assume that, crimes of opportunity might go down this time of year just because there might not be people walking down the street, you know, looking in people's yards, things like that. Can you kind of give us your perspective on that?
Yeah, I'd agree. Those crimes of opportunity do go down a slight bit as we don't have that kind of increased traffic like we would in the summertime. We do see still those break-and-enters, though. Maybe someone is looking somewhere to stay for the night, whether that be a business or residence. We do see a higher increase in that. But overall, for 2023, we've actually seen a decrease in break-and-enters or to property crime for this year, which is great.
Oh, wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So just on that similar topic, is there anything that you would suggest for people in town here, you know, just with the coming seasons to kind of prevent things like that, you know? Any sort of tips you have for us?
Yeah, also as people start heating up those vehicles to get ready for work, never leave your vehicle running with the keys in it, right, and unlocked. That's that crime of opportunity we do see an increase in the winter, is people leaving their vehicles unlocked with the keys running. Obviously, someone could jump in and easily take that vehicle, right? So use that remote starter or lock the vehicle if you're going to do that. We also are seeing people leaving their wallets in vehicles, right? So if that's something that's out in plain view, you could make sure that's taken inside with you at the end of the night, and don't be leaving those identification or financials or wallets in your vehicle.
Well, that's all the time we have for today, but I want to thank you so much for stopping by and chatting with us today, Constable.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
We've got one more story before we're all wrapped up today, and this one's pretty interesting. Smokin' Ed's has done it again by setting the world record with the next hottest pepper in the world. The Guinness Book of World Records announced Pepper X as the hottest pepper, registering an average of 2,693,000 Scoville heat units. I don't even know what that means, but it sounds hot.
Yes, the Scoville heat unit is how they measure the heat of really hot peppers. So it starts, you know, jalapenos and banana peppers, and then it goes up to, you know, ghost pepper, California Reaper, and now
I just want to know how it got to 2 million. Like, what does the numbers mean?
It's
like,
crazy. It's nuts. I've had some really hot sauces on the unit, so this is definitely going to be hot.
That is all the time we have for you on Primetime Local News. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great night.